so, but last couple of seasons we got an idea that we wanted, cut in there, and it was very steep there. But we also started finding a lot of like foreign fruit trees, sort of thing, almonds and things like that. And so whether someone actually had a house up here, so people used to buy these things like patches of 80 acres. I think they were actually 100-acre lots, and you had the 20 acres to have your house and grow all your vegetables, because we're on the other side of the world, fellas. You had to end up growing your own vegetables to be able to survive, So the other 80 acres were for your sheep or whatever else you wanted to cultivate, but the 20 acres attached to the 100 minus 80 equals 20. That 20 was for your house and your garden and growing your veggies and everything else you wanted. Basic standard Victorian fare. And so you got those European trees that have lost their leaves already, probably almonds and things like that. Now, we had a go last season getting through here, but I think we may be cut in along this groove sort of thing. I think we did talk about it last year, but it didn't really eventuate. But today, now I'm in Cute Desert with, I'm going to check that I am on, with a colour grid. We should have true to life colour. Some people are questioning the look. They say, it looks so dry, and I said, my camera does make things look a little bit dry, but that's because I was using all the nighttime settings, whereas when I get to 4K I have the option of toning up or down the highlights sort of thing. So if anything's gone too bright and gone white and whited out, I can actually turn that down. So I can turn it down just enough, but of course that only rests on the fact I've got to get into 4K, which is, why couldn't they just have a 4K button on the outside of the camera? Here's your 1080p button, that's for 1080p, and here's a button next to it, that's your 4K button. You press that, you're in 4K. I mean, or is that going to look too dumb specific that no one's going to buy the camera? But that's really what you need, just get yourself it's like throwing yourself out the house, getting yourself into the journey. Don't miss the bus. You've got to throw yourself, and I think we need to go down that area. Okay, so back again, because you don't want to fight your way through all this, And it's sort of, it's not sort of, I wouldn't say it feels muddy underneath, but you can feel that. You can actually feel the dampness of this clay. I think it's because it's somewhat thixotropic. So as I press down on it, it's like you melt ice. When you go skiing. Okay, where do I need to go? Up round. So it's like you melt ice sort of thing. That clay silt there, it's got that sort of thixotropic feel. It's green thorn bush, but so it's not as bad. Okay, I think we're through, but this is 45 degrees, fellas, and lucky we're doing it now, because if it was later on in the season and jelly mould fired up, you could easily go arse over tit here. I know someone on the other side of the world is laughing their cotton socks off with our Australian parlance. As I say, we're the one country in the world with the most poisonous of everything, so it's the land of the F word, because it's that serious that we make a joke out of it. So, profanity has no effect on an Australian, I think we perfected that, I think, a good century ago, I think. We're not prudes in a way, you know what I mean? You call a cut snake a cut snake. It's a cut snake. You don't want to go near that thing. It's fucking angry. It's going to have you it's not going to have you for breakfast, because it's not going to live till the next day probably. But I think we really need to push ourselves in it. Whoa, and I don't know what we're going to come out into, fellas, but it might be interesting. It could also be soul destroying. Oh yes. Oh, that was the other thing. I brought a compass with me and I left it in the... Ooh. Is that the other side where we were last year? I just want a vista, fellas, so we can actually see exactly what we're up against. And if I see something like I see water flowage or a stream or something, you know, a whole flat hillside, and I think, whoa, they look like a whole predator of prey failure over there on that side, glowing in the sun. We're definitely going down. You know, that's what I'm talking about, fellas. Yeah. Okay, well this is what I mean. If we come through here, I can get a vista. So these are obviously trees from long ago that are past their prime somewhat, and that's a creek line that probably hooks up with a creek line from that area where we walk along that big long track. So in between that big long track that we walk along, I said that it used to be even in long when I first came there, before they put the break to the road in there. Olives. Yeah, I assume this is the 20 acres sort of patch, you know, and he put it all in the fork of 2 rivulets, I suppose, so they could feed the trees. And on a hillside, so that any other water coming down goes through the root system of the trees. Is that the way he thought